What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the Dragon Clan. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? I'm going to say the House of the Dragon. That felt lame. We're shouting out to the House of the Dragon, damn it. I wanted to talk about something before we get into the video that I heard on the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Shout out to Jeremy for saying this, and I'm sure he's not the first person or the only person to think this, but it was the first time that I heard it and it came from his mouth. And I might, for the first time in my entire existence as a crypto investor, actually believe that Bitcoin Cash does have a chance at flipping Bitcoin. Now, obviously not this cycle, probably not even in the next cycle, but over time, it very well could happen. And here's the reason why. I mean, so obviously, anybody who gives freaking 2 seconds of a look into Bitcoin Cash's, I don't know what to say. It's tech, it's protocol, it's code, it's operability. Maybe that's a better word for it. Anybody who knows anything about Bitcoin Cash knows that it's better than Bitcoin. There's no argument there. There's no person. The only thing that BTC people have over BCH is price performance. That's it. And maybe it's also, I don't know, we don't know if this is true, but to my knowledge, I think BTC is more decentralized as well. It's more decentralized in terms of nodes, but if there's popularity amidst BCH and that kicks up, we might see that transfer of decentralization come to BCH, or in time as it gains popularity, it might become more decentralized. But that's other than that, Bitcoin Cash genuinely is better, and it has the capabilities of being just as decentralized, if not more decentralized, than Bitcoin at some point. But that's not why I think it could flip it, right? I've always thought that. That's not new information. I've always thought that BCH was better. I just never thought that it would flip BTC. BTC is the store of value coin. BCH is the electronic cash, peer-to-peer currency that Satoshi actually envisioned whenever he wrote the white paper. It more adheres to that, right? I thought they could both exist in tandem, and I think they can. But if Bitcoin Cash flips BTC might just, I don't know if it'll stop existing, but it won't be as big of a deal. It'll definitely become like the silver. It'll still exist, but it'll be obsolete, and it is obsolete already. But it'll be obsolete in all forms. And I'm beating around the bush. What Jeremy said, shout out to Jer, he said that if and when Bitcoin Cash flips Ethereum, then it's game over for BTC, right? Because if we can flip Ethereum, and that's the thing, I do believe that we can flip Ethereum. I do actually believe that Bitcoin Cash can and will flip Ethereum in time. I believe, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor, what do I know? But I believe in 20 years, 40 years from now, we're going to be sitting at a dinner table with our friends and family and be like, you guys remember Ethereum? Yeah, oh, it was going to change the world, right? It was the big yeah, I remember. Oh man, crazy. I forgot about Ethereum. Yeah, that used to be such a big deal. That's where that's headed. No offense, but that's probably where Ethereum, XRP, maybe BNB too. I mean, I could see BNB staying relevant, maybe not in the top 5, but just being relevant still for the use of Binance. I don't see Binance going away in 20 to 40 years. Maybe if it dissolves into some other company, but I doubt it. I don't know. That's CZ's baby. Solana, right? Tron could be here to stay, but maybe even Tron. Dogecoin's probably here to stay. Cardano probably not. Like, there, all these coins. Like, you look at the top, not just the top 100, but the top 20. I would bet 18 of those coins go away in 40 years. They're not going to be in the top 100. But Bitcoin Cash is still going to be here. Bitcoin will probably still be here too. USDT, Tether, that doesn't count. But that was just an interesting thought, I thought. Whenever I heard him say that, it was on a short, and I'll have to comment on it. And one last shout out to the Bitcoin Cash podcast. Genuinely a gem in the space with those guys and everybody that they have on there. But the idea that Bitcoin Cash flips Ethereum, and maybe not even Ethereum, right? What if XRP or some other crypto's in number 2? What if something else flips Ethereum, right? We flip a Titan. If one Titan gets flipped, I mean, nothing's going to come for Bitcoin. There's nothing that could compare, right? Except for Bitcoin Cash, which is literally better. So maybe not just Ethereum, but when Bitcoin Cash hits that number 2 spot, and all it takes is time. It's just going to take time. You look at the BCH chart, BCH BTC, we look at it here on Binance, there's a very clear accumulative pattern versus BTC happening. Now, it's not this cycle, right? We're not going to rip through the roof on this cycle, maybe. But this is something that's long and drawn out, right? It's a soft curved bottom. And this is one of the most bullish formations. It's a turning of the tide. And it took a lot to do this. It's taken a lot of time to do this. But you can see that we are, it's basically like a logarithmic regression, but it's like a progression, right, versus Bitcoin. So what does that mean? In time, you guys, we're coming for 1% of a Bitcoin. We're coming for 10% of a Bitcoin. We're coming for 50% of a Bitcoin. You see where this is going, right? In time, we're going to contest Bitcoin. And I've always thought that I could see the narrative where BCH, you know, it gives Bitcoin a run for its money, that people think it'll flip Bitcoin, and that might become a more prominent conversation in the crypto space as BCH gains dominance. But I never thought it would actually flip Bitcoin. And I don't know if it does. I'm a betting man, but I don't know if I would bet on that happening. But I definitely wouldn't bet against it. Where before today, I would have absolutely bet against it. Absolutely. Maybe not today. It was like 3 days ago that I saw it. But that logic, just something a switch flipped. It's like, yeah. Because I do believe BCH could definitely flip Ethereum. And if it flips, it gets to number 2. It hits that number 2 spot. That it's all over. It's all over for BTC at that point. At that point, and even then, I would even say if BCH can get to the top 5, not if, when, because I definitely believe it will get in the top 5. I would definitely take that bet. It'll get to the top 5. Maybe not this cycle, but when it gets to the top 5, that discussion of flipping Bitcoin is going to be a thing. It's the only coin that compares. It's the only coin that could, right? When it gets to the top 5, coins like Satoshi Vision, BSV is going to go away. Any Bitcoin hard fork is going to go away. It's going to be the accepted version of what peer-to-peer electronic cash is, right? And there, of course, there's other protocols, privacy coins and stuff like that exist. You know, XMR, Xano, other coins too. I'm just not thinking off the top of my head right now, but most of these coins are going to be gone, guys. They're not going to be around. But BCH has the same longevity that BTC has. This will be, both of those coins will, out of any of these coins that are in the top 20, I'm the most confident in those two, and probably even Dogecoin. Probably those three, as crazy as it sounds, those three are probably the only ones that are going to be here to stay. Maybe one other, but probably not, right? Shiba Inu is definitely not going to be here. Toncoin, Hedera. We're going to remember all of these and be like, oh yeah, I remember those. And maybe they're still relevant, but they're not going to be in the top 100. They're not going to be, and maybe relevant is the wrong word. They're still going to be around, but they're not going to be relevant. Anyways, just a thought there. I don't know if the dots clicked for you, but they clicked for me, and I thought that was an interesting perspective. Anyways, BCH USD here. We're sitting at $503. Moving up, trying to, right, day by day, week by week, we're moving up here, consolidating. We've had an attempt to break out. We just can't do it, you guys. Downtrend in the RSI with our highs here. I guess it is a downtrend. Yeah, we got lower lows and lower highs. I'm assuming that we continue to go down, right? Lower highs here, lower lows, something like that. We're at an area where we would reject. Now, do we go all the way down to the 40 and find support, go sideways and then come up? Maybe that's what happens. But at that rate, at something like at this kind of pace, that would imply that we're not really moving up higher. We're not having a breakout until the end of the month of July, which is fine. It can take as long as it wants. Whenever we do break out, it's going to be spectacular, you guys. It absolutely will be a spectacular scenario that happens. But at this point in time, I would at least think that we go a little bit lower looking at the daily RSI. We do stand to reverse at the 50. We also stand to reverse at the 40, either of those areas. If not, we're going to the oversold zone, but I'm not under that impression at the moment. I think we're bullishly charged, ready to get overbought, likely either next week or the week after is when I would assume, but sometime by the end of this month. But for now, with this diagonal trend line that we have here, you can kind of see that we're weakening with this, right? Nice support, a little bit less nice, and now we're dragging on it. We're probably going to get pulled down by the red dragon there. Pulled down. It's going to pull us down a little bit. And then the green dragon will pull us off. It will likely take us to higher prices. From a low here on April 7th to the high here on July 1st. Rejecting the 069 area. We could find support at the 236, $442. That makes a lot of sense. Prior support there, prior resistance there. We could go down to the 382. That's a pretty common possibility as well, the 382. And Bitcoin Cash is a volatile crypto. It's very volatile, and we love it for that reason. But I will say I have a hard time seeing it drop 21%. I'm not thinking, I would have to see Bitcoin drop like 8% or more for me to consider a drop like this. I think Bitcoin's going to drop like 4%, something like that, maybe 3%. And with that, I could see us finding support at $442. And Bitcoin itself, a lot of cryptos themselves have actually been finding support at the 236 recently. So 236, 442, $442 is where we're going to go. Prior support, prior resistance, prior resistance, prior resistance back here. It makes sense to me. If we're looking at this on a high to a low here, 1414, 1272, 1414. I mean, we'd be stopping in the middle of nowhere, but that's fine. I mean, stopping above the 100 is actually more bullish than stopping at it, but stopping at it's very bullish too. Staying anywhere from the 886 or above is bullish, but and to be completely fair, in this kind of situation, you would expect to go to the 786, 886. When you stop at the 1414, 1272, typically you go to the 786, 886, or even lower than that. You could go to the golden ratio, and at that rate, something down there, high to low, that is right where the 382 is, isn't it? Yeah, it's right there. It can happen. Don't get discouraged if Bitcoin Cash goes below 400. That'd just be one final shakeout before the breakout, the lifelong breakout that we've been waiting for, you guys. To riches and glory, to where the dragons roam. We're going all the way up to 1,600 to 2,400, 1,600, probably just above or just below $2,000 would be my guess. Closer to 1,800 to 2,200 is my guess, but that should happen, I think. Over the coming weeks, we should see some life. Maybe not this week, but next week and then the weeks to follow. And then really August, I think, is primed and ready to see some phenomenal price action. We're not there yet. You never know. Sometimes BCH does lead BTC, and with that, maybe BTC drops and BCH goes up completely, goes up without it. Maybe we don't drop to 442 at all. But time will tell. I don't really have anything else that I want to say, you guys. It's definitely a terrible time to sell Bitcoin Cash. It's maybe not the most ideal time right now to buy, but if you were thinking about buying, don't let me stop you, man. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's probably, look at that. We tried, man. We really tried there. We just didn't get any follow through. What about BCH on Coinbase here? A lot of volume, just no follow through. Yeah, you're a little bearish divergence here. I really would not be surprised at all if you broke below this trend line, and then right there, that's where you find support. You might not even go to 442. Maybe you find support at like 480, 470, but I digress. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.